Hi, this is Stacia, and I'm going to share a game that I played on chess.com. This was a 3-2 blitz game and only 14 moves, so don't blink or you might miss it. Okay, and I have not analyzed this, so we're going to do that together. This was a King's Gambit with e4, e5, f4, and my opponent, which was Harchenko 52, rated 1442. And I was rated 1483 for this 3-2 blitz game. He chose knight c6. And this is called the Queen's Knight Defense. And it is a form of the King's Gambit declined, not taking the pawn I'm offering on f4. Now, the opening book says this is a rare move, but I'm guessing that at higher levels it's a rare move. I see this quite often at the club level. Quite often. I played knight f3, the normal move guarding the h4 square so that there's no checks, and then my opponent chose to take at this point. Now, with this delayed capture, it's now transposed into a King's Gambit accepted. MacLeod defense is what this is called. And I went ahead with d4. This is sort of the point of playing f4 early. You give up the pawn, but when they take, they give up the d4 square, and we're able to create the strong pawn duo in the center. So I am down a pawn, but I really like my center at this point. Now he went g5, and this is sort of a normal idea in the King's Gambit, but I haven't seen it in conjunction with the MacLeod defense with knight c6. So mixing up ideas, not always a good idea in chess. And here I was already suspicious of my opponent's choice. So here I played h4. This is a normal idea, and I'm going to go ahead and turn on the engine at this point. Let's see. Yeah, h4 is the top move, which I'm happy to see. I also did consider just developing, but yeah, I don't know, because the thing is, like, if I play something like knight c3, I'm pretty sure g4 is a threat. And the problem is black is going to dislodge my knight, which is guarding my h4 square. And so if this were to occur, yeah, computer is saying bishop takes f4 is a move. I think that's like Muzio Gambit style. But I could play knight d5, but I'm pretty sure queen h4 check is a thing now. So it's not even the top computer choice. Top computer choice is knight takes knight, followed by bishop takes. Wow. Sacrificing a piece, I think. But yeah, this is also an option. And after g3, f takes g3. Well, I guess I have queen takes g4, but black's already much better here. And yeah, probably losing, actually. Yeah, I like this as a move now. What do I do? I guess I take. Yeah, black's up a piece here. So, okay. All this is to say that I really can't allow g4 without playing h4. Now by playing h4, the difference is that the h4 square is now guarded by my rook. So if he were to go here, I actually can play knight e5 now and allow this kind of thing with d takes e5. And, you know, this is a game. So, okay, let's go back. So after d4, g5, h4, I was expecting g4 here, but my opponent played f6. And, well, this is one of those positions where, just like Ben Finegold always says, never play f6. f6 is actually a losing move. And if you want to go ahead and pause your video and find the winning move here, go ahead and do so now. Okay, so I will tell you that this move is so terrible that there's other moves that give white a strong advantage. So if you chose knight c3, well, that's okay. And if you chose d5, that's also okay. But the real killer move here is knight takes g5. And I played this without thinking in the game because this is a common pattern that I've seen like dozens of times by now, and I knew it was winning. The point is that he can't really take the knight, but he can't really not take the knight. So he accepted the sacrifice, and now I have queen h5 check. Now black's in huge trouble. This diagonal is super weak, so you cannot really block this check. The only choice is to move the king, and in fact there's only one square, the 7 square. So now in this position, I've seen this before too as well, but I'm familiar with the idea of grabbing the g-pawn first with check, and then when the queen is unleashed on my queen, of course I don't want to trade, I can actually come back and check again. So this is the part of the game where I'm interested to see if there's an improvement. So I did take here. And let's also look at the move bishop c4 in this position. I used to play this way, but I found that black can often untangle. So I have a pretty obvious threat of checking on f7. But yeah, like here, already I'm wondering about the move d5. This unleashes the bishop and attacks my bishop at the same time. And, well, I can take here, or I can check again. Let's try this move. Yeah, but now the computer is saying queen e8, and white only has a slight advantage. So I'm guessing I would not want to trade queens here and play here. So what's the big deal? King d7. And I'm probably running out of attack is the issue. I can take this, which is nice. Queen g6. Yeah. How do we attack that king? I want to attack the king and not trade queens, but I'm not seeing a way here. And in fact, the computer is giving knight c3 or castles as the best moves. I don't really want to play this a piece down trading queens. So this is slightly better for white, but I think we have better. So in this position, bishop c4 I would call a clear mistake because queen takes g5 check is winning. So we're going to take here, and now the king pretty much has to move or get blocked. Now, the one way to block this is knight f6, but then we have e5. So that would win our piece back, and I think if we do win our piece back in this position, then we're going to be winning because the attack's too strong, and we won't, and it'll be a free attack, as they say, won't have costed us any material. So instead of that, he can probably move his king. Now he can go king f7 or king e8. If king f7, now we bring the bishop in with tempo. Bishop c4 check. And if d5 in this position, Now we take, and if bishop e6, well, I see now this bishop is pinned, so I could play here, but taking the pawn's probably better. So we'll take it with check. And yeah, this looks completely winning because once you win this f-pawn, now castles is an attacking move with the rook bearing down on the king. So computer's getting knight f6 now, but I think pretty much I'm going to take the bishop now. I'm just making sure with the computer, but yeah. This, and now I have this. So after he comes back, I win material. This is winning for white. Okay, so let's go back. So just to show where we're at in this game, I'll catch us back up. King's Gambit, Queen's Knight defense, a delayed capture on f4, and this is the MacLeo defense with the move g5 thrown in, which is not theory, and h4, f6, a losing move, knight takes, pawn takes, queen check, king e7, and now queen takes g5 is the crushing move, and we just looked at king f7, we looked at that variation, but he can also go king e8. Now in this variation, I go queen h5 check, you want to avoid the queen trade, and now it's like black's in the same situation, except the g pawn is missing, which is important for us because now the f pawn is hanging. He comes back, and now, just like in the variation, I thought bishop c4 was a crushing move, which is what I played in the game. Computer says bishop takes f4 is even stronger. And queen g5 check again. I don't think I'd play this again. That seems drawish, doesn't it? Like check here. So that's the big idea with this. Yeah, it's calling it a draw all of a sudden. So I don't think I'd play that move, but if I was going to learn one new thing this game, it would be to understand bishop takes f4. So let's have a look at that. Bishop takes f4. So what is our idea? Oh, I see it. Yeah, we're going to play this next. And that would cost black a queen, so I don't think he wants that. So knight f6 is a natural move. And if knight f6, play it anyway, pin the knight to the king. And computer's giving bishop g7, but I mean, e5 is a threat, so let's find a move for black here. Can he move the king? If here we have this fork, if here, that just looks ridiculous. Oh, if there we have this fork. So yeah, this is like one of those power of the pawn duo situations where the threats of both d5 and e5 are just too strong. And so he's going to lose this knight or this knight. So I like bishop takes f4. So that's a new idea that I will consider instead of bishop c4 in the future. And now I'll show how the actual game went, also winning. So after king e7, well, my choice was take the g-pawn with check. He went back, recheck on h5, re-go to e7, and then I played bishop c4. Now this move bishop c4 is also winning. My opponent played queen e8, so again, he's desperate to trade queens. Can hardly blame him. But now I played the move queen g5 check. This time different because the queen is here. And now it looks to me like all the dark squares are covered. He played knight f6, but here I have the move e5, just like in the other variations, attack the pin piece. And he played this move, queen g6, But I think, yeah, there's tons of moves that win here. And the one that I saw immediately was to capture the knight with check. E takes f6 check, so he cannot take back. And in fact, he played king d8, but now I have this lovely move, check. And after f7 check, the king has no squares. So he's pretty much mated, which means he's going to have to take this pawn, and my opponent resigned because he can take with the queen, but I think we all agree that white is winning or has won this game. So, okay, I hope that you enjoyed this little miniature. I'm going to review the whole game now and look at the critical things that we have learned. I like to do that to solidify those ideas. So this is the King's Gambit with knight c6, the Queen's knight defense. I played knight f3, and then they took. So a delayed King's Gambit accepted Mac-Leo defense. I played d4, which is sort of the point of allowing this capture, and he played g5, mixing up ideas. So yeah, this move in conjunction with this move, I think is just incorrect because you need the tempos on the king side. I played h4, and now, actually g4 is probably a real move, and I think this is the way that my opponent should have continued. Maybe like this. And like we said, white's a little better here, but it's nothing special. Instead, my opponent played f6, a losing move. So never play f6 because now knight takes g5. A lovely sacrifice, which is basically a discovery on the h5 square. So we check, king over, grab the g-pawn first, recheck on h5, and after the king comes back, now we play a different move. So here is where we learned that bishop takes f4 is crushing because of the threat of bishop g5. And after they play knight f6, stopping bishop g5, we play it anyway, pinning the knight, and now the pawn pushes will win material. But in the game, instead of bishop takes f4, I went with bishop c4, having a nice little threat on f7, a little queen visit there. And my opponent went queen e8, trying to trade queens. I now checked on g5, and after knight f6, we had e5, attacking the pin piece. And here, I think even trading queens is winning because I'm going to win this knight, but I like this move. E takes f6 check, the king steps back, and now f7 check. And the king is totally out of squares. The only way to capture the pawn is with the queen, and my opponent resigned. So I hope you enjoyed this miniature, and have a great day. I'll be back with more chess.